welcome to another edition of Eric's Product Reviews, brought to you by hollywoodfrodo.com. I am Eric, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about another product by FenSens. Now, I have reviewed before a FenSens license tag sensor that you would put over your license tag, and it had sensors built into it for your car for a backup sensor, either backup or on my car using on the front bumper as a sensor, and it connected to your phone. This is a new product by FenSens, and this is a backup camera. Once again, it just fits around the license plate of your car, and it has a built-in battery, and it is solar powered. So once you charge it up the first time and then put it on your plate, as long as you're getting sun during the day, it's getting recharged by solar, so you never have to worry about charging it or anything. And this is actually a backup camera. And it connects to your phone, just like the other native phone or a tablet, but generally speaking, you're probably going to be using it with your phone. It connects using Bluetooth and then Wi-Fi for the actual transmitting of the video, and it works really, really well. It does also have the tap button, just like the original FenSens did. So instead of opening your phone and opening the app, you can just tap this button to open it. But in my opinion, especially because of the it has to connect to the license plate and then switch on the Wi-Fi and connect to that, I like opening the app as I'm approaching my car so that it's ready to go before I even get in my car. So before I review it and talk about how it worked for me and what compare it to other types of Wi-Fi cameras, I'm just going to go ahead and jump over to what you probably want to see the most, which is a demo. So I took a lot of demo footage showing you how it works in my car, and we're going to jump over to that, and so you can see this product in action and see how cool it is. So I'm going to demo this first in landscape mode. So you can do this when you're walking towards your car. It's probably ideal, but I'm already in my car. Obviously this is in the mount, and I'm opening the FenSens app. What's going to happen is that's going to send a Bluetooth signal, communicate to the camera through Bluetooth to tell the camera to turn on its Wi-Fi. Now, if you're away from home, away from any Wi-Fi that your phone would normally be connected to, it should connect automatically. But if you're at home, your phone is probably already connected to your home Wi-Fi. So this little button up here, the little cog button, you hit that and you select the Wi-Fi for the camera. You do have to do that simply because, again, it's not automatic because your phone's already connected to Wi-Fi. However, if you are somewhere, like you're at a store or somewhere where your phone's not connected to another Wi-Fi, that would happen automatically. And you see you have a big landscape picture. If you tap it, the notification goes away so you can see even better. Right now this bar, the bottom doesn't go away, but I have suggested hopefully they'll have an update to make that disappear as well when you tap it, and then come back when you want it to. With the notification, you just drag down and that helps it. Now these guides, you can move these to what's appropriate for you. The angle that allows you to meet the angle of whatever you're driving. Like right now the driveway is at a slight slant, so I can drag that to meet that. And you'll see, I'm going to just back up real quick so you can see how that works. Kind of check to make sure there's no oncoming cars. And my driveway is a really wide driveway, but with a really narrow entrance. So usually I jump off the curb a lot when I'm doing this, but I'm not jumping off the curb this time because the backup camera to see where I'm going. And you see, nice and smooth. So I'm gonna come back up, and you'll see the camera just stays on because this camera obviously isn't connected to your car. It doesn't know whether your car is going in forward or reverse. You're just starting it when you want to start it. When you want to stop it, all you got to do is hit the back button on your camera, and you'll see it exits. And that's how it works. Now let's take a look at it in portrait mode, because you can also use it in portrait mode. And if you're using it in portrait mode, it's not going to be much different. Again, I'm going to open FenSens. Now, because it's already connected to the Wi-Fi still from the previous, you see it immediately. I didn't have to do anything. And you see you can use it this way. Now, if you're using it this way, again, you can still change that guide. It's a little bit smaller.
So, you know, generally speaking, I can see it because with my glasses on, I have really good eyesight, but not near as good as in landscape. If you have multiple FenSens devices, you can see I can switch over here, and that switches over to my front sensor, the FenSens sensor, which isn't the camera, it's just a sensor, and I have that on the front of my car. So this tells me how close I am to approaching anything that is in front of my car. So it's really easy to switch back and forth if you need to, if you're parallel parking or something. Now you can't do both at the same time. You can only do either sensors. If you have sensors on the front and back, you can do those at the same time, but you can't do a camera and a sensor at the same time. You have to switch back and forth between the camera and the sensor. And just to give you a closer up and full sense of how well it works, as you can see, especially in that landscape mode, you can see really well. See, there's a car approaching, so I'm going to stop. So wide angle view. I can see exactly where I am on the driveway, so I can get right into that center without jumping off the curb the way I do half the time. Oops, sorry. Bump the camera, and then as I'm driving off, I want to stop it. I just hit the back button on my phone, and it stops, just like that. If you're parallel parking and you want to see where you are, you can see. Now those lines don't turn to guide you the way they would on a built-in unit, but you can still kind of see very clearly where the lines are and where your car is. So it gives you a better visual as you're parallel parking, so that you can get right up on the curb without running into the curb and do a good parking job. So those beeps you hear are not the FenSens. Those are, my car does have backup sensors built into it. The FenSens I'm using obviously just for the camera portion, but you can see it also helps visualize that when you're backing up. It does a really good job. So I just want to show you an example. If you're walking towards your car and you're not at home, so you're not connected to any Wi-Fi, you're in a parking lot and you're walking towards your car and you open up the app as you approach your car, then you get into your car, then you're starting your car, you're putting this into your holster, then it kind of connects automatically, so it's a little bit faster than if you're at home, and you can see, boom, now the video is going. So it's faster. You don't have to hit that little cogwheel button to go into Wi-Fi settings to choose your Wi-Fi, because it wasn't connected to any other Wi-Fi. So it's automatically going to connect. You don't have to do that. That is more for when you're leaving from home, or if you're at work and you're close to your work Wi-Fi and you're connected to another Wi-Fi, then your phone's not going to disconnect from that Wi-Fi to connect to this one. So you have to go hit that and do it manually, but you don't have to do that when you're just in a general parking lot, which makes the process a lot faster, especially, like I said, if you go ahead and start the app before you even get in your car, then by the time you get this in your holster, it's just about ready to go. So I just want to show you the few settings that are in the app real quick. You can switch from dark mode or not. You can manage your devices, and you see the different devices that you have connected. You of course do have that tap button that comes with the unit, so you can use that tap button to launch the app automatically if you want to, instead of launching the app yourself. But like I said, generally speaking, it's better to launch the app yourself as you're approaching the car. But you do have that tap button option. You have a setup guide. You can invert the sensor, so if you're using this on a truck and you have it upside down, you can invert the, or actually it's mainly, I think that's not for the camera so much as for the sensors, the FenSens sensor plate, which I reviewed before, so you can use that for that. And then you have your account, and then just general information, checking for an update. And those are really the only settings in the app. If you hit this button, it just gives you an option to either switch between the parking sensor or the camera, but you don't really need that because you can switch between that just using these two buttons as I've shown you before, and then the plus button if you're adding an additional camera or sensor for the first time.
So you can see it works really well, connects to your phone. Now as far as installation goes, installation was really easy. You're basically just installing it like you would any license plate frame that you put on your license plate. It installs just as easy as those do. Simply unscrewing the screws, putting it on, screwing it in, and then you're good to go. You do charge it one time before you put it on your car just so you start with a full charge. But after that, as long as your car's getting a couple hours sun average per day, so you might not get any sun for a few days and you might get sun for 5 hours on another day, but as long as you're averaging a couple hours a day overall, then it's going to stay fully charged and you're not going to have to worry about the battery at all, which is awesome. Now, you saw the video, you saw how it works. For me, as far as like comparing this to say other types, there are advantages and disadvantages to everything. So the advantage of the FenSens backup camera is, of course, the fact that there are no wires. No wires for power because it's solar charging. No wires for turning it on or connecting to anything because you're using your phone to activate it when you need it. So there are no wires. That's the advantage. What's the disadvantage? Well, the disadvantage is with the ones that are wired, a lot of times you can wire those into your system so they turn on just automatically when you go in reverse. Whereas with this one, that doesn't happen. You've got to manually start it when you want to use it. But at the same time, that requires, again, wiring, which can be complicated for you to do, or you have to pay a lot of money to have a mechanic do it. And this one you get no wires. The other advantage, maybe with some of the other systems, is because they're not connected to your phone, they have a dedicated display. So you don't have to go into an app or anything, they just have a display that's connected to the camera always, either through a wired connection or a Wi-Fi connection, and so you put your car in reverse and the camera turns on and the display is automatically right there connected to the camera. With this one, you're relying on the app, and the app has to connect to the Wi-Fi. Of course, the advantage of that is you don't have to have this separate digital display sitting on your car that you're not using 95% of the time you're in your car, because you're only using it when you're back up. With this, you're using your phone, and so great, when you need it, it's there, but then obviously when you're not using it, you have your phone to use for other purposes. So you don't have the display that you're very rarely using taking up space on your dash. That's the advantage of the FenSens. Now, one thing I will say, maybe you've ridden in a friend's car, or you have another car that is a newer car that has a built-in backup camera and has a built-in, smart display system and all that kind of stuff. This isn't going to be as good as that. There's just no way for that to happen because that's built into your car. But what is this good for? Well, this is great if you have an older car, you have a car that doesn't have a backup camera, and you want to use this. It does, depending on how you're using it, and if you open that app before you get in your car versus after you get in your car, there may be a slight delay with getting it started. It's not always going to be as instant. Sometimes you might have to wait. So I would say this is best for those times when you really need a backup camera. It's not something that you're probably going to turn on every time you get in your car and you back up. Again, because it's not automatic, you have to think to do it, as well as the fact that it sometimes takes a few seconds for it to get there, and maybe by that time, you'd already back up and be gone before it gets connected because you're just in a hurry to go. So that's sort of the advantages or disadvantages, but overall it works really well. I love the fact that it does connect straight to your phone. I always have my phone in phone mount when I'm in my car anyway, so I have this. I can just turn my phone landscape mode to use this when I need it, when I want to, when I think it's going to be helpful for me. Then I can go ahead and start it when I'm walking towards my car, so that by the time I get it in that mount, it's ready to go. As far as the power goes, I have no issues with the power. I've never had to charge it once I've connected it to my car because it gets enough sun. And I park in a garage during the week generally, but on the weekends my car's in the sun more, so it gets enough sun to keep it all charged up. And overall works very good, very well. The developers behind it, the FenSens guys, I know they're always improving it. This is a fairly new product, but they're making enhancements to the app and making it work even better and faster as they can. They're always working on making it better. And I still have that sensor, as you saw in the demo video, on the front of my car, and it's easy to switch back and forth between the two. So kind of cool way to take a car that's a little bit older like mine is. It doesn't have sensors on the front as a lot of modern cars do, and doesn't have a backup camera on the back as most modern cars do, but now with FenSens I can have both. And like I said, I don't always use the backup camera, but if I'm in a place where I need it to be able to see better, then I do use it, and as you saw, it works really well. Anyway, that's going to be it for this review. If you like this review, please click that like button. I am going to have a link to the product on Amazon down in the description below, as well as a link to the FenSens website, so you can check out their website or buy it through their website as well if you want. Don't forget to subscribe to this playlist to keep up with future product reviews, or go ahead and subscribe to my channel to keep up with all my videos. Anyway, that's going to be it until next time, so have a great day.